Sure. Hello everyone, what's happening? It's Richard Purnell here. How you all doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, because I need you to be doing well, because right now I am not doing well, unfortunately, because my computer sucks. I mean, I love my sister for buying me one. Thank you, sister, if you even watch any of my videos, for buying me a computer, but it stinks. It's not working. It's bothering me. And I've been trying to get it fixed all week, been trying to do something about it, but unfortunately the problem is still going on. I still haven't got anything done yet, and I can't wait to upload videos any longer, so I'm not going to wait anymore. I'm going to upload a video. I can't edit it, I can't do all the fun stuff like I do with other videos, and that sucks. But I'm just going to have to live with it until I can get that thing fixed. And you guys unfortunately have to live with that as well, that the vast majority of the videos that I'm going to be uploading on this channel will be these one-takers. But hopefully my personality will be enjoyed. Anyways. No, I'm not even kidding. I cannot do one-take videos. I'm terrible at it. I prefer editing myself because I forget to say things, or I try to say something and I just don't know what to say, and I totally need editing 100%. There are people who do one-take videos all the time that are really good at it, like my friend The Real Manos. He's excellent at one-take videos. Me, I am not excellent at one-take videos. I'm good at one-take videos when I have something passionate or something, you know, thoughtful, or something that I just need to say that hopefully will move somebody, as opposed to videos like this where I'm just a jumping monkey. You know, these videos I think should just be edited as opposed to those other videos, because I know exactly what I want to say and I'll just say it, whereas this, I need editing. And sometimes I'll even repeat myself and I'm a broken record. And you'll notice that. So if any of that stuff happens, I do apologize right off the bat. But anyways, just getting to the video that you're watching at hand and not trying to delay it any further. Today, what you are watching is video 2 of Horror Month, which is a limited series of videos I'm doing all month long, all October long, in which I review some of the biggest and most awesome horror films of all time. And if you've been watching in the last video, you know that I reviewed Nosferatu, which is from the silent era of horror films and one of my favorite horror films of all time. And moving down the timeline, the next group of films I'm going to be reviewing, I'm actually reviewing 2. I said in the last video I'm going to be reviewing 1, but I decided I'm going to change it to 2 videos, or 2 movies that I'm reviewing. And they're from the era of the 1930s, 1940s, which is the era of horror films that I like to dub the Universal Monster movie era of horror films, because during that time, the most popular horror films that were ever released were from Universal, and like we still talk about these movies to this very day, and we still like joke about them, we still are influenced by them, we still like see adaptations of these characters. Granted, these films during that era weren't original ideas, they were adaptations of books for the most part. These are the versions of these characters where we still kind of connect with those stories. Like with Dracula, we always picture like the Bela Lugosi Dracula, or with like Frankenstein, we always picture the Boris Karloff Frankenstein, you know, flat top head, bolt, and all that stuff. Now with the Wolfman, that might be a different story, because some people might picture different types of werewolves. But either way, during this era of horror, these were the biggest types of movies that were coming out. And the films I'm going to be reviewing are 2 of my favorite horror films of all time. In fact, one of them is my favorite horror film of all time, Frankenstein and The Bride of Frankenstein. Yes, by the way, which have just come out on Blu-ray, if you can't tell. Blu-ray, Blu-ray. Yes, that's right. So that's what we're talking about in this video, Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, which star Boris Karloff as the monster, and were both directed by James Whale, who was a big director of these films. Like, he also did The Invisible Man, if I am correct. So the story of Frankenstein, as you guys know, is the story of a man who wanted to prove that God was not the only one that can create life, and so he and his hunchbacked assistant, who in this film his name is Fritz, not Igor, fun fact, they go through the graveyards and gather up body parts and put them together, and they create a monster. But obviously they gave him a bad brain, and so he's not like intelligible and can speak clearly. He's like, "Argh." And then in Bride of Frankenstein, the monster, which has kind of gained some intelligence, forces his creator Frankenstein to create a love interest for him because he's tired of being feared and hated. He wants somebody to love him, and I guess he feels the only person that can love him is someone who's in the same situation. And that doesn't go as planned. Unfortunately, it doesn't go as planned. So, again, I love these movies. These are my favorite horror films of all time. And, in fact, Frankenstein the monster, not the character, the monster, is my favorite horror movie character of all time. Because, unlike most other horror characters, Frankenstein's monster is a tragic figure. You know, he's not like a genuine monster emotionally. He's a monster physically, but he's not a monster emotionally. I mean, you look at Dracula, and he's supposed to be frightening internally and externally. I mean, he sneaks into your house and sucks on your blood. And the Wolfman, he is a little bit more of a tragic character, but he's a little bit more ferocious and, you know, all that stuff. Whereas Frankenstein is literally just a genuine-hearted person trapped in a monstrous body, almost like a what the hell's his name? Quasimodo. Almost like a Quasimodo. And so that's always like been the big quality that's attracted me to that character. And of these two films, I think the one I like more is Bride of Frankenstein. And the reason I like Bride of Frankenstein more is because, first of all, the production value is a lot more excellent. And I mean, you could tell they were given a lot more money and a lot more all this stuff to make the film even better than the first one. And it's one of the few sequels out there that is actually superior to its original, in my opinion. Also, a big benefit is that this one actually has a back score, which is pretty cool, and it kind of adds to the eeriness and all that fun stuff. And I just love it. And also, another thing that I find interesting about these movies, and this is probably the most interesting aspect about these movies, is that at the time these movies came out, and even today, a lot of the stuff, you know, in mentioning, see, this is a one-take problem. I fumble, and I can't fix it, and it sucks. Anyways, one of my favorite things about these movies is that they're, at the time, and even today a little bit, they're considered pretty controversial because of all of the religious context surrounding these movies. In fact, the first Frankenstein film was considered so controversial that they actually had like an intro or like a prologue at the very opening of the film that warned people that this movie might be a bit much. Even though later versions of the film edited out the controversial bits, like when Frankenstein threw a little girl, or the monster threw a little girl into the lake, and when Frankenstein said, now I know what it feels like to be God, and all that stuff. Like, this is stuff that was edited out, but in the version that wasn't edited like that, they had this intro that said, we warn you, this is going to be a little shocking, so watch out. And I find that really interesting because I watch horror movies nowadays that are considered shocking, and the only real shocking aspect about these horror films is because it's just really gory, like Hostel or The Human Centipede. Like, movies like this are considered very controversial because of just how messed up in their gore that they are, whereas Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein are only really controversial because they killed kids and in one way or another were blasphemous. And so I find that really interesting. And even today, like, those are some stuff that are avoided in horror films. Like, you rarely ever see kids attacked in horror films. The whole, you know, God versus man, or like that whole thing is still kind of used every now and then. Like in the most recent Chucky film, Chucky does say there is no God to terrify someone who's very religious. But kids are rarely ever killed in horror films, except for like in like a Tim Burton movie. I've seen kids get killed, or like in what's another horror film? I don't know. If you guys think of other horror films where children get killed, just tell me in the comments, because I'm drawing a blank. But that's probably the most interesting aspect about these movies to me, is that they're considered so controversial at the time. Like, nowadays we'll watch them and just be like, it's not that controversial. I mean, they're great movies, but they're not that controversial. Whereas back then it was like, whoa, what are you doing? No, stop that. No, that's, ugh. Oh man. And, you know, I'm surprised they don't still do the intro thing in front of, like, they should have done that whole intro prologue thing in front of the human centipede. Like, you know, we warned you, this is going to be a bit much. But then again, you know, with the title, like, the human centipede, you should pretty much know what you're getting into. But also kind of with Frankenstein, you should already know what you're getting into, because that's kind of what the whole book was about, you know, God versus man and all that stuff. But anyway, so that's probably the most interesting aspect about these movies. But other than that, I love the story of Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. And the performances, especially by Karloff. Karloff's performance in these films is still, like, the best horror performance of all time. I mean, there's some great horror performances, some great villain characters and all that stuff that have come and gone. But Boris Karloff will always be, like, one of the best, if not the best, of all time. And, like, the makeup, the whole performance, everything, it's just spectacular. And, like, that's probably the most memorable thing for me watching these films, is seeing Karloff do his thing, and it's fantastic. But yeah, so Bride of Frankenstein, if you haven't seen these films, highly recommend them. You probably know the plot, you probably know the look, you probably know all of that already, but still watch the movies. I do think that they're movies that transcend to the modern audience a little bit better than silent films do, and I think you guys will get a kick out of it. So anyways, in the comment section below, of all the horror movie monsters that are out there in our lives, which one is your favorite? Are you a Dracula fan? Are you a Frankenstein fan? Creature from the Black Lagoon? Any of these characters, what is your favorite Universal monster movie character and why? Tell me in the comments. I want to know. But anyways, that's about it for me. Sorry for the one take and the one take issues. But as usual, I still hope that you like this video. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, directorscutradio.com, Tumblr, and Vine if you can. Links are all down below. By the way, I'm a little addicted to Vine, so I might make more videos on there as well. And as usual, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like what you see, and favorite the video because I like it when you do that. And I will see you guys next time with a review of... I don't really know. I'll have to figure that out. But it'll be from like the 50s, 60s era. If you guys have any suggestions, leave them in the comments from that era. No, if you guys have any suggestions from that era, leave them in the comments of today. I want to know. And I'll see you guys next time. Later!